Welcome back to the channel. Today we're at the Residence Inn here in Valencia or Santa Clarita, and we're going to show you what the one-bedroom suite looks like. So if you're interested in this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. Come get lost with us. So we've been at this Residence Inn for 1 week. This is our second stay here. Technically it's our third room. So in this stay we got one of the regular loft style rooms to begin with. Most of the lights in the room didn't work. The reading lamps in the bedroom, which I'll show you when we get in there for this review, weren't working either. We had to complain to maintenance. They came, they couldn't fix it. So then about 3 days later, they finally transferred us into a different room. We said, hey, why don't you put us in one of the suites? Because Nacy is the highest tier that you can be with Marriott. Finally, they agreed. So we get to check out this room. Now, as we said in the first review, which you'll see in the show notes below, if you want to see all the amenities and all that stuff, that'll be in that review. This hotel's great if you're going to the theme park, which is Six Flags Magic Mountain. So if you're going there for the day or for the weekend, this might be a good choice. If you're staying here more long term, you're going to have a lot of issues, kind of similar to what we talked about in the last review. I have some more at the end that I'm going to talk about, some of the issues that we found with this room, but let's get to the room tour real quick. Many of these new rooms now have this European style lighting system. So basically, if you take this card out, in a few minutes, all the lights will go off. You have to have a card in there for power. Now, that's not a big deal, but you do have to remember when you're checking in downstairs to get an extra key. So if there's 2 people to the room, you need 3 keys. And if there's only 1, you'll still need 2 keys. Just because you have to have 1 to put in there. Otherwise, all of these lights in the room will not work. Now, you see this setup is fairly similar to the loft style. You come in the front door right here. There's no light over the front door. And then you walk right into the kitchen. So let's take a look at the kitchen. One of the things I'll say about this kitchen is it is one of the most useful kitchens that we have ever stayed at. The lighting in here is great. Everything works. Now the difference between the loft style and this one bedroom style is the kitchen is slightly bigger, and it seems like everything was planned out for this one bedroom suite. Whereas they tried to fit the same design into the smaller space for the loft, and I'll show you especially in the hallway between the bathroom and the bedroom, is where you can really tell where that space is eaten up. But in the last loft style that we were in, this was actually so close to the fridge that we weren't able to open the door all the way, so it wasn't able to come all the way down. Another thing was this cooktop in the last loft style that we were in was too close to the fridge. So if you put the pan that they gave you on the stove, it would actually be touching the fridge at points. So it just wasn't big enough. Now the fridge in here is the same size as it was in the other room. So it's a pretty standard size fridge. Next to that, you get your cooktop. Typically they have all of the silverwares and stuff up here. Since we've been here a week, more of our stuff is on the counter just because it's easier for us to get to. Some of our eats this week, we had some bagels, had some tortillas, so we had some breakfast tacos and stuff, some teriyaki, some rice. Now, they do provide salt and pepper, and then if you need like butter and stuff too, you can get that downstairs. But one of the things nice about the Residence Inn, like we talk about, is they have most of the stuff you need. Forks, knives. If you need the sharp knives, they're not actually here though. As Nacy said in the last video, this is where they store them when you first come in, so you'll see there's still one in here. See? That's where they store the knives for some reason. So all 3 of them will just be on the bottom there. Weird, but it's just what they do here for some reason. So after you have all your cooktops and accessories, you get a coffee maker, you get a toaster, you got some strainers, measuring cups, glass, some plates and stuff. If you need anything else like a rice cooker or anything, you can actually go downstairs and they normally have that too. You just have to ask the front desk for what tools you need. They also have grills in the main atrium area that you can use, and there's about, I think, 2 or 3 grills down there that are able to be used. So if you want to grill stuff, that's an option too. You also have a garbage disposal, so something different than most hotel rooms. There's our ice bucket, and they do have a little ladder here in case you're short and trying to get into these shelves. You have access to it. Now they don't store anything in these upper shelves. They're just kind of there for looks, but if you're here more long term, you may want to use them for something. Here's some extra plastic bags we've got here. You know, legit tip, they do have much nicer plastic bags on the West Coast. Our next area is the living space. Here is the kitchen area we just came from. This is the living room space. It is a fold-out couch. We'll show you where the sheets and the pillows are in a second. They actually give you 2 pillows when you have a one-room suite. When you have the loft, even though it has the same exact couch, they only give you 1 pillow for some reason. There's this side table over here. That's really nice. We typically use it when we sit on the couch if we're watching TV or whatever. Then this is the desk space. It's been really good for me, this desk space, I have to be honest. It's nice and big. It's got plenty of room. The only issue is, and we'll talk about this at the end too, is the internet here is almost non-existent. So if you're coming here to work and you plan on working in your room, it's going to be very difficult. And we are in room 463 right now, so it is the far end of the building. But the internet here, not good. And last thing that's in this room is your TV setup. So it's got a TV stand, and then it has 2 drawers underneath it for storage, and a third sort of open area for storage as well. TVs are okay, basic channels. We had the same problem we did the first time though. If you have a Roku or a Fire Stick, it will not connect to their internet. So if you're planning on using that to keep your kids busy while they're on this couch sleeping before you go to like Six Flags, or if you just carry that like we do so we can keep it with some of our shows and stuff, it will not hook up to their system here, which is frustrating. And again, while we say, if you're only going to be here a short period of time, not bad, but for longer stays, it may be an issue for you. Now, a couple things to look at too on this desk. They do have 2 lights over here. They have 1 light there, which is the circle light, and then they just have sort of a little desk light so you can see what you're doing. There's no other lights in this room. So, unlike the kitchen, which is really bright and really well lit, this area is really, really poorly lit. It does have a window there that opens up during the day, so it'll give you some light. But still, I really wish there was a little bit better light in this room so that it'd be a little more usable space. I would love to have your idea of what you think this looks like. I've looked at this for almost a month now. It kind of looks like a person laying down. This is like their backside. This is their front side. It's just kind of what I see in this photo. It's just interesting artwork in the room that I've taken a sort of like, what does it look like approach to it. It's interesting. All right, our next stop is the bedroom. Here is where the magic happens. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. So this is the bedroom area. It is a king-size bedroom, and we've just passed through the doorway. So behind us is the living room area. They each have 2 side stands. They're basically the same. They have outlets, USB. Out of the 3 rooms we've stayed at, and I'll show you this a little better. Out of the 3 rooms that we stayed at, only 2 of them had functioning outlets and USBs for some reason. I don't understand why, but it is the case. This is my knee stuff. But here's a phone too. So you do have a phone and alarm clock. It's really bright. You can't turn it down, so I just use this as a blocker for it. These are the same on both sides. Now another interesting piece here is there is a reading light here. Boop, boop. Ooh. That's the reading light, right? So our first room that we had on this day, so technically our second room here, those wouldn't go off. So even when they were shoved all the way in, they would still be on. And so they just disconnected all of these lights. Now, unlike the loft style, this has a third light in the bedroom, which is this light that's over the TV. So you get a third light in here, which is nice. And it is operated by this switch. So if you turn this switch off, this will actually turn off both side lights, so this side light and this side light, and then it will turn off this, which makes the room totally dark. It's not as helpful as you'd think it would be, because when you're going to sleep, you can't just turn these lights off on the side. You have to physically get up and turn this switch off. You also can't turn the switch off and then still have those lights on. So you're in this kind of quagmire of there's no way to turn the lights off good here when you're trying to go to sleep. This is one of the biggest differences between the loft style and the one-room style. Another big difference, though, is there's another TV. So this is the second TV in the bedroom. It's the same size as the one out in the living room, but instead of basically hinging for the bedroom and the living area, you get 2 separate TVs. Kind of nice and really helpful if maybe you have kids with you or you're 2 different couples and you're sharing a suite. This could be an option. Now to our right is this hallway space. So this is how you get into the bathroom. It's much more open than the other one. It's definitely wider. There's no door to the closet. So there's your closet. You got your ironing board, your iron, you got your extra pillows, sheets. We actually took a one of the sheets and put it on the bed for Nacy because she gets cold at night. But those are your sheets for the pull-out couch. On the other side, you have 2 dressers that have decent room and storage if you need it. And then a little mirror that you can check your fit on. And 1 light up here. So this is one of the brightest lights in here too. It's much bigger than the other loft style when it comes to this little walkway to get to the bathroom, and actually makes it a little bit easier to open the door. You can see the door opens and then it opens to that. So instead of being stuck by the closet doors and a little bit tighter, it's easier to open in this than it is in the loft style approach. Now that we've completed the bedroom, let's go take a look at that bathroom. This is our last day in this hotel, so you'll see it's a little bit dirty, but here's the bathroom. The bathroom mirror is significantly smaller, the bathroom counter is smaller than the loft, and the shower is slightly smaller than the loft style too. So you lose a little bit of space in the bathroom, but this is still a really, really big bathroom. You can probably hear my voice echoing because it is so large. Got some places to put up towels, got the artwork theme, there's the toilet, and then the sink, which comes with towels and a hairdryer down there. So that's kind of what it is. It's weird that the bathroom, sink, and mirror are smaller than the loft style, but it's just decisions were made. The shower is nice. They do have their North 39 brand in there for your shower accessories, and then the shower head. It had good water pressure. Hot-wise, though, it really didn't get that very hot. Nacy was actually complaining this morning how cold her shower was. So this room, not very good with the hot water. Let's talk about some of the issues we've had here. With this being our second stay here, some of the big issues that we keep seeing is stuff is breaking in this place and they're just not fixing it. When we called about the reading lights and the lights not working, just start off by saying the lights first didn't work when we were in the loft style in the master bedroom, or well, in the bedroom area. So there wasn't a single light in the bedroom area when we got in there that would come on. We called down, they ended up plugging in the stuff, and then we realized that the reading lights never went off, which is why it was unplugged in the first place. So it feels like here, the maintenance people just aren't trying to maintain it, they're just trying to push people through. And because it's right next to Six Flags Magic Mountain, probably works a lot because people are only staying here a couple nights at most. But for us, who are gonna stay here weeks at a time, it's been a little frustrating at times. Another biggest issue is the internet. Now my laptop over there did connect to the internet in 463, but I will caveat that with just barely. It took me 13 hours to upload a YouTube video the first time, 12 hours the second time, 12 hours the third time, and then I had 2 podcasts I had to get uploaded, which were only our Awkward Quickies, which if you don't know, we have a Awkward Chats podcast on any of your podcasts that you listen to, Spotify, Apple, or whatever. You can find us on our Awkward Chats. And we do what we call Awkward Quickies, which are just kind of shorts that we do. These shorts were about 10 minutes a piece, and it took 5 hours a piece to upload these Spotify episodes. So we had crazy slow internet, and when I say slow, I mean barely inching along. Frustrating enough that our Roku and stuff, our phones won't connect. Our phones keep dropping the network. Occasionally you'll get like success, and then it'll drop the network. We're even supposed to have the upgraded internet here, so because Nacy is the highest member at Marriott, we're supposed to have the fastest internet that they offer, and that's just as disappointing as everything else, because again, 12 hours to 16 hours uploading on YouTube videos is crazy. Typically it takes a few minutes, sometimes it might take an hour if it's really slow internet connection. So the internet here, very slow, very slow, very frustrating as well. And then the repairs. So even in the laundry room, the laundry units are slowly falling into disrepair. They're not maintaining them. So if you're planning on staying here long term, you might want to think about one of the other hotels in the area and check them out. If you're only staying here for a night or two though, it's really not bad. The bed is comfortable. Though the water doesn't get very hot, they do have pretty good pressures. So it's not bad overall. So if you want to see the rest of the amenities, definitely check in the show notes below for our other review of the Residence Inn in Valencia, Santa Clarita. But once Nacy gets back, we'll do our final thoughts on our 1-bedroom suite. So there is Six Flags. They lighted in there, kind of like almost an inn. That's the tower. That's a roller coaster. And then you see the freeway right here. The freeway is busy 24/7. We are at the end of the building, so it has been a little frustrating with the noise. It's really loud, and this interstate is always busy. But the In-N-Out seems fairly packed tonight. It's been hit or miss packed-wise. No one ever goes to the Red Lobster, though, it seems like. And to the far corner, you can see the Six Flags Magic Mountain sign. And a legit tip is that's actually some of the scenes for Wally World were filmed there, which is the first National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Well, National Lampoon's Vacation. Forgot to talk about this. This, I guess, is the biggest difference between the loft and the suite style, is that there's a door right here. So that is kind of the big piece. There's just this door here. It's kind of the same design, other than you get an extra TV, this backlight here, and that switch. They're pretty much the same rooms. And you lose a little bit in the bathroom if you take the suite over the loft. But those are the two big differences between it. All right, that concludes our stay here in Valencia. We're actually on our next trip. We're going to some festivals this weekend, so subscribe if you want to see those.
Yeah, so once we got upgraded to the room that I probably should have got when we checked in, it really wasn't that much different. The biggest difference was, I think, the kitchen was laid out a little better, and the bathroom door functioned a lot better in that layout, and then we had a door to close off between the main area and the bedroom.
Yeah, we talked about it in the video. It's basically the same layout. It seems like everything was laid out for the one bedroom suite, and they just sort of shrunk it down for the loft at one, which doesn't work because, you know, you're shrinking spaces. Again, the bathroom was a little bit smaller in the one bedroom suite, which is weird to me. But other than that, you know, it's kind of a toss-up what you need. If you have family and you have kids and you want a door to separate you, then the suite could be a good option. If you're staying with like multiple couples because you're going to like horror nights or anything at the Six Flags, that could be an option too. But otherwise, the loft is okay. And either of the rooms are pretty good for a short stay.
Now, we've kind of stayed all over that hotel in terms of like noise, and that by far was the loudest room I think we've had, because we were right up against the freeway, and you just constantly get that freeway noise, and it does pick up during rush hour as the freeway gets busier. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about where you want your room to be.
Agree 100%. And like we talked about in the video, it was a nice room. The biggest downfall for me is the internet was so splotchy there that kind of led to a lot of frustrations for us. And just the fact that it does seem to be going downhill really quickly for being only open a year. There's definitely way too much going wrong that's not being maintained at this hotel. So if you're staying there any longer than a couple nights or a weekend, I would definitely consider looking at some of the other options in the area.
Yeah, so if you guys like this kind of content, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button.
And make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified when we do at least 3 videos a week.
And we'll come and get you all for the next one.
Ain't that the truth, Baby Ruth?
Bye, everybody.
Bye. We just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, would you please consider hitting that subscribe button, as it helps us reach a wider audience and helps our channel grow even further. To those of you who are already subscribed to the channel, we just wanted to say a huge thank you for always being there and supporting our channel. We cannot wait to take you guys on our next adventure, so we'll see you guys in the next one.